It's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us as we embark on a short week, a Thanksgiving week here in Northeast Florida, a week that finds the Jaguars back at work at the Miller Electric Center, getting ready for the home stretch of their season. I guess mercifully at this point, 6 games to go. That begins Sunday with the Houston Texans. The Jaguars, of course, 2-9 on the year. A week that finds us looking ahead to Florida and Florida State. Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Florida coming off just a huge win over Ole Miss. A lot of recruiting momentum, a lot of positivity for the Gators, and we're actually going to start there in a moment. In fact, the play-by-play voice of the Florida Gators, Sean Kelly, off the Gator Radio Network, he joins me tonight here in less than 20 minutes. Florida State did get a win over Charleston Southern. I thought it was good that they got to smash the rock. Anytime you beat a 1-10 FBS school that might be the worst team in all of college football, you need to smash that rock in the locker room, and Florida State was able to do that. So I was happy for those guys and the Garnet and Gold that they finally got to smash a rock. A lot of those rocks haven't been able to be smashed, Denmark. They got a buildup of rocks from the 9 games they've lost this year.
They'll use them next year.
Yeah, maybe. But, they had the Charleston Southern rock, and they got to smash that. And it was a very emotional moment there in the Florida State locker room. Miami had a little bit of a scare, but survived Wake Forest. Miami knows now all they need to do is beat SMU, I guess, right? Well, actually, check that. They need to win this week against Syracuse, and then they need to beat SMU. And if they win the next 2, they will certainly be in the college football playoff. And it was chaos around the SEC with Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M, all losing. What does that mean for the college football playoff? We'll get into all of that tonight. As I mentioned, Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators. He joins me in less than 20 minutes. Also, it's Monday night, which means a little Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he joins me at the top of the 9 o'clock hour as we will look ahead to Jaguars and Texans Sunday here at Everbank Stadium. But we're glad you're with us to kick off a Monday here on Hacker After Dark. Every night here on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
I've been following football, the great sport that we love so much, 35 years probably. I'm 41. First 5 years, didn't really probably know what it was, to be honest with you. But, when I was 6 years old, I'd say 1989, 1990, when I started really getting involved with the great game of football as a fan. And in all that time, 35 years, 3.5 decades, whether it's the NFL or college, when it comes to teams that we cover, teams that we follow in the area, I honestly can't ever remember a narrative, a perception, just a general feeling about a team and a head coach that has changed more than what we've seen in Gainesville, Florida in the last 6 weeks. I can't ever remember it. You could argue Mike Norvell at the end of the 21 season. But even so, at the end of the 21 season, Florida State fans, you wanted him fired. You had to wait 8 months for Florida State to look like they had turned a corner, right? You don't go to a bowl game at the end of 21 to winning 10 games in 22. But that was an 8-month period from December to August. We're talking about a 6 or 7 week period when it comes to Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. If you're going to be honest with yourself, and I'll be honest with you, I'm honest with you every night. I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I'm going to be honest with you about my thought back then. If you're going to be honest with yourself, rewind the clock back to the end of September. There is not a Gator fan listening to my voice right now, either on the radio, live on the 1010XL, MyBookie digital platform, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or if you happen to be listening to this on Tuesday morning in the future when you're getting ready for work tomorrow. There's not a Gator fan listening right now that did not want Billy Napier gone. And if you say you didn't, then I don't believe you. I didn't know anybody. I fought the good fight for Billy Napier. Admittedly, though, I ran out of steam with that after the A&M game. Denmark can attest to that. I think I might have been the last person on the Napier bandwagon. But even I jumped off after A&M. We were talking about firings. We were talking about will he be fired the Sunday after A&M. We were talking about Lane Kiffin. We were talking about Eli Drinkowitz. Oh, if they can't get those guys, what about Rhett Lashley, right? Who's going to be the next guy in charge? How bad is it going to get? But man, the last 2 games in Gainesville against LSU and Ole Miss, do we owe Billy Napier an apology? I don't know. I think we're pretty close to that, right? It became apparent when they beat Mississippi State, they beat UCF, they should have beat Tennessee, and they beat Kentucky. It was apparent then that this team was still playing very hard for Billy Napier. It became apparent then that Billy Napier had not lost the locker room, that they were still battling, right? They were showing heart. I know I said that. And I heard from a lot of y'all showing heart. Hacker, this is the SEC. This is big boy football. Who cares about showing heart? Yeah, I hear that, but I think the point was it would have been very easy to just say the heck with this and bail on the season, give up. Kind of like we saw some other teams do. Florida State being a prime example. Florida State gave up against North Carolina and Notre Dame. Florida did not do that. In front of 100,000 in Neyland Stadium, they didn't give up. When Lagway got hurt and the third-string quarterback comes in the second half against Georgia at the cocktail party, they didn't give up. The only game you could argue that Florida gave up was ironically the first half against Texas. And even at that point, Florida outscored Texas in the second half of that game. But then these last 2 games really put it into perspective for us. Billy Napier was preaching patience, right? Billy Napier was preaching stay the course. Billy Napier kept saying, if we keep doing the right things in practice and we keep doing the right things here and we keep doing the right things there, ultimately it will pay off on Saturday. And none of us believe that. I didn't believe it. You didn't believe it. I just thought that was nonsense. That was coach speak, right? That was CYA, a guy that was trying to CYA, cover his you-know-what. But it kind of looks like, at least in the last couple of weeks, maybe the joke was on all of us. Looks like Billy Napier might have been right. How do you go from looking as bad as Florida looked at times last season, as bad as Florida looked at times in the month of September this season, to physically dominating the LSU Tigers and the Ole Miss Rebels in a span of 7 days? With, mind you, no Graham Mertz, no Trey Wilson, no Jason Marshall, no Pup Howard, no Devin Moore. Florida is ridiculously injured at a lot of important spots. And that hasn't seemed to matter. Aaron Gates, they're arguably one of their best defensive players, got hurt on the second play of the game against Ole Miss. What does Florida do? They just put another freshman out there. Have at it. And they dominated an Ole Miss offense that absolutely put a number on Georgia 2 weeks prior. Incredible stuff, man. Incredible stuff. What is Siri doing here? What are we doing, Denmark? This new phone, man.
You and technology, man.
I'm on a roll
you
here.
work so well together.
I'm on a roll here, and Siri's doing some things. I'm going to have Denmark look at that during the break. All right, Siri, calm yourself. It's just incredible what Florida's been able to do. Here's my thought on Billy Napier. I think I should apologize to him. I stayed on that bandwagon very, very long time. I did. You can ask Denmark, ask Graham Marsh, ask Matt Hayes, ask my colleagues here. I was never anti-Billy Napier. I'd like to think I was on the Titanic when it hit the iceberg. I thought the iceberg was A&M. And after A&M, I couldn't justify being on that bandwagon anymore, so I jumped off. Shame on me. Because if I would have stayed the course like Billy Napier told me to, I'd look like a genius right now. But truthfully, I didn't have the belief that I should have. You didn't have the belief that you should have. You don't just physically whip LSU and Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks unless something is very much working in Gainesville, Florida. And something is very much working in Gainesville, Florida. They have turned a corner. Now, 7 wins is unacceptable. 6 wins is unacceptable. We'll see what happens in Tallahassee against Florida State on Saturday. But again, there's not a Gator fan listening to me right now that did not want to change at head coach after that Texas A&M game. A remarkable job by Billy Napier. A remarkable job by that staff. A remarkable job by those players. To come from the bottom of the black hole of the SEC, where they were considered to be maybe the worst team in the conference after A&M. I think they had like a 7% chance of going to a bowl game after A&M. And to beat Kentucky, to beat LSU, to beat Ole Miss, and to do all three of those in dominating fashion, man, we should have listened to Billy Napier. Shame on us. He preached patience. He preached stay the course. And he was dead on, man. The biggest comeback from a perception standpoint, a general good feeling standpoint, in such a short amount of time that I can ever remember in 35 years of following the great game of football. That I can ever remember. A terrific job by Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. Florida plays Florida State Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium. Gator fans, I hear you out there. I hear you saying this is going to be easy. Worst Florida State team of your lifetime. I hear you. I agree that Florida should win the game. I agree that I'm probably going to pick Florida to win the game. But maybe I've just been beaten over the head so much at Doak Campbell Stadium. Pump the brakes, man. Be careful. Tallahassee, Doak Campbell at night. Odd things happen in there. You'll hear that game on 1010XL on the Gator Radio Network. Sean Kelly will be on the call. He is the voice of the Florida Gators. and he joins me next. Let's talk about the resurgence of Billy Napier. Let's talk DJ Lagway, and let's preview the Seminoles and the Gators. Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators, joins me next. Hacker After Dark on a Monday evening in Jacksonville, Florida. And we're glad you're with us right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Starting at linebacker, number 55, Tom McManus.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads. Friday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors.
Get down to the bank Sunday, December 1st, when the Jaguars go head-to-head with division rivals, the Houston Texans. You won't want to miss our My Cause, My Cleats game, when your favorite players get the champion causes close to their heart by wearing custom-designed cleats. Lock in your seats now for a 1 p.m. kickoff by calling 904-633-2000 or visit us online at jaguars.com/tickets. We'll see you there.
If you have a slow-draining sink or toilet that sounds like it's about to back up, imagine the potential plumbing emergency when you have family over for the holidays. Flush after flush after flush. Avoid holiday clogs with a call to Duck Duck Rooter today. Duck Duck Rooter will come and resolve those plumbing issues so you can enjoy a free-flowing holiday season. Call 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Imagine driving a late model car of your dreams at a fraction of the original sticker price. For the very best in low mileage cars in Jacksonville, visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom. All luxury cars are serviced and inspected, many with a certified warranty. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
The next generation of college stars are here in Jacks. Tom Hacker joined 1010XL all day Wednesday to learn where high school's top prospects will be heading.
Presented by Premier Physical Therapy and San Jose Collision on 1010XL.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival returns to the Daytona International Speedway in 2025 with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville takes over the Daytona International Speedway May 15th to the 18th, 2025. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. 4-day, single-day camping and VIP passes on sale now at welcometoRockville.com.
Denny Thompson here. They're still growing. Tyson Sound & Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundAndSecurity.com or call to apply 762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security hiring a master electrician offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, Their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
1 second left. Hackers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida and Florida State. Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio as the Gators, coming off huge wins over LSU and Ole Miss, look to get a win over their arch rival. The man that'll be calling that game on the Gator Radio Network is Sean Kelly, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Sean, how we doing?
Doing great. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, too.
Hey, Sean, we really appreciate the time. All right, I can't ever remember a resurgence like this for a head coach in sports that I've covered. I've been lucky enough to do this now for over 2 decades. Billy Napier was, quite frankly, a dead man walking, I guess, after A&M. I don't think I'm out of line saying that, but he just kept the process. He kept doing his job. The players played for him. And my gracious, Sean, now after huge wins over LSU and Ole Miss, you can't help but feel great for Coach Napier and what he's accomplished this year.
Well, no doubt. I don't know if dead man walking is what I would go with. It's a touch dramatic, Ryan, but because there was so much football to be played. But to your point, though, to give you a little perspective, 7% chance after those first 3 games that the Gators would become bowl eligible, let alone maybe looking at 7 wins. So that's how remarkable this is. 5-3 since that point. And these last 2 games, I mean, just an unexpected turn when you had to look back at how the season could play out. We all knew those last 5 weeks were going to be daunting. And at that point, you were thinking, I don't know if they can get any of them. And here they are with 2 of them and maybe get a third out of this final stretch.
You know, Sean, it's interesting. I've said many times that I like Billy Napier. I think Gator fans like Billy Napier. I compared him to Will Muschamp back in the day. I think Florida fans liked Will Muschamp, and they kept giving him opportunities, but obviously just didn't work out. I don't think, Jim McElwain or Dan Mullen fit that criteria of Gator fans necessarily liking them. So I think Billy, with this resurgence now, Gator fans feel good that he's going to be back in 2025. They like the direction of the program. You're around Billy every day. I think back to that post-game interview he did on Saturday with ABC and the emotion that he showed about coaching these young men and getting over this or turning this corner. What has it been like to be around Billy in the last couple of weeks now that the team apparently has turned that corner?
Well, one thing about Billy is he just kind of stays the course, and maybe that's somewhat frustrating sometimes to Gators fans because he's so focused and even keeled about it that they want some kind of reaction or emotion to come out. And maybe one of the things in his secret sauce is that ability to not have an emotional pendulum that swings, too far one way or the other. I could sense earlier in the fall kind of this weight of the world on his shoulders. But I think he was bolstered by that first bye week and the response that the players had. Once he knew that he had the players' belief, or that he felt they were bought in, then I think that allowed him to shut out a lot of the other stuff and just keep kind of grinding away at it. And to see his emotion over these last 2 weeks of kind of for him, it's this. He's joyful because he sees the players being rewarded for what they've put into it. He's very selfless in that way. But I got to think this in some form or fashion, he's getting some satisfaction about knowing that his process is playing through the way that he thought it might. And he's so patient about these things. And all of us who wear orange and blue are not patient. It's kind of a dichotomy here. But now Gators fans can kind of rally behind this long-term vision that he's had. And they can see that he was, quote unquote, right all along, maybe. I don't know. But certainly the vibe is completely different. And nobody wants to sit here and say that 7 wins, if they were to take care of what they should on Saturday, is by any means should be the standard by which all Gators teams should be measured by. But it does all point to momentum and a good vibe going into the offseason with recruiting and development of the young players, which frankly are the best players on this current roster, and moving toward next season.
Sean Kelly, the play-by-play voice of the Florida Gators, here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Sean will be on the call Saturday night for Florida and Florida State. You know, keeping the locker room together. You mentioned the social media. In today's day and age of social media, you got friends, you got family. I mean, the constant questions about the future of the program, you know, transfer portals, all this stuff with the uncertainty about Billy, and for him to keep that locker room together and to show obvious improvement. I mean, they are leaps and bounds better on defense, particularly, than they were the first month of the year. Again, just goes to the job not only Billy, but that staff has done in keeping that locker room together, staying the course. Again, unbelievably impressive.
It really is. And anybody who thinks that, you know, the player in this day and age can just, you know, shut out the noise or anything else, that's impossible. And Napier even, I think, touched on it the other night about how in the digital world they live in, it's not conceivable to think that they could shut out any of the noise or disregard it at this point. So they had to fight through it. And this Ryan goes back to what I kind of saw with this football team back through the spring and the summer was I really liked being around this group. I thought they had really good character and strong leadership. And when the season started like it did, I was just like, okay, well, what did I miss? I mean, what am I not seeing here? It wasn't until that bye week. It wasn't until they had to rally around their head coach and basically make a decision amongst themselves how they wanted the rest of the story to go, that then it proved to be what I thought I saw back in the spring and summer about this group of young men. So that's a credit to them. And you talk about the resurgence of this defense. They've done so in a lot of ways shorthanded, especially on the back end of the secondary. So it also kind of talks about the depth and the player development side of this momentum that the Gators have found themselves enjoying here late in the season.
I want to talk about DJ Lagway, obviously, but I got to talk about Caleb Banks. I mean, good gracious. I don't know what has gotten into him the last couple of weeks, but he looks like one of the best defensive linemen in the country. Tyreek Sapp, Cam Jackson. I mean, that defensive line, Sean, has been crazy good the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, they've really done a good job of affecting the quarterback. Banks just put together 2 weeks that, I don't know, I'll be hard-pressed to see a player do something like that again for a while. These last 2 weeks have been nothing short of phenomenal. Not just seeing him in seemingly involved in every play, but then you look at the box score or his line from each game, and it's crooked numbers everywhere. Forced fumble, fumble recovery, quarterback hurry, sack, tackles, tackle for loss. I mean, he's checked every box along the way, and he's become a handful for sure. And that's also opened up some other guys to be able to play a little more freely too. Tyreek Sapp, there's another example. You know, when I fill out my boards, a guy that's playing the way Sapp does, I would expect my board to say started every game. And that's not the case. He's actually played them all, but he hasn't started all of them. He's on a good run now of starting, but he kind of had a late start to the season, which was a little bit surprising. And then you talk about how steady the linebackers have been behind that defensive front. And Shamar James, the season that he's put together. Pop Howard's been hurt, but a guy like George Gums has certainly shined here in the last few weeks. And I think that one of these wild cards in this whole Gators defensive story is Jacksonville native Jack Pyburn, and the way that he played from basically the bye week on, and what he's meant in his return from injury to this football team. I mean, it's really remarkable. And then you mix in the young guys, Miles Graham, L.J. McCray, who've played in each and every game, and we keep calling their name more and more as the weeks go by. So it's really solid. It's become, obviously now a strength of the Florida Gators football team, whereas, as you mentioned, in the first couple of weeks, it was to the detriment of the success of the team.
Yeah, you mentioned Jack Pyburn from the Bowl School. He has been an absolute monster, no question about that. Sean, 23 days ago, that's obviously not a long time. 23 days ago, DJ Lagway was carted off the field here in Jacksonville. And at that point, you thought, oh, my gosh, his season's probably over, right? He's not going to come back from this. And now here we are 23 days later, and he's coming off wins at home in front of 90-plus thousand against two ranked teams that ended their playoff hopes in LSU and Ole Miss. What a 23-day period for DJ Lagway.
Without a doubt. And look how different he looked in each of the two games you're referring to. I mean, had to basically become a pocket passer, which is not his thing because of the hamstring injury against LSU. Passed that test. A little more mobile this last week. So now you got to see him get out of some trouble. And how strong is this kid that probably on 3 different occasions against Ole Miss, he should have been sacked, and most quarterbacks would have either escaped or actually completed a pass. Quite remarkable. But he's mature beyond his years. There is no ceiling with regard to the talent. He can make every throw. And it's interesting. I think back to where he was in the spring, and I was wondering, gosh, his accuracy's off. His footwork's a little suspect. We'll see how this develops. Thank goodness Graham Mertz is here. And so he not only embraced the role behind Graham Mertz, but it's rare to see a guy his age actually improve to the eyeballs week after week after week. And he's done that. He's incrementally progressed each week, and then he's handed the reins, and he has to take the thing over. You talk about 23 days ago and that injury. I'm starting to think a little bit that if he doesn't go down in that game against Georgia, Florida might have beaten the Bulldogs in that football game. The way it had started, the way that he was affecting the football game, it's hard to say. I mean, that's hindsight. It's just being a Gator and speculating on what could have been on that particular Saturday. But how he's come along, just remarkably even being able to play, but now what he's done here at home the last 2 weeks.
Final moments with Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators. No, I completely agree. I mean, it's a 20-20 game against Georgia, even without Lagway with 5 minutes to go. Sean, they go to Doak Campbell on Saturday night. And look, I mean, I'm 41 years old. I feel confident in saying this is the worst Florida State team I've seen in my lifetime. But the one caveat to that I'll say is this would be Florida State's season to knock off the Gators, right? A lost season for the Noles, but if they were to knock off Florida on Saturday night prime time, that would at least give some Band-Aid to what has been a terrible season. And Florida's going to hear about how great they are, right? I mean, you and I have just done it for the last 12 minutes in these last 2 wins over LSU and Ole Miss. The one thing about this Gator team, though, and you tell me, you're around them, I don't think they're going to get big heads. I think they're going to be focused. But clearly, Florida State is going to put a lot into this game on Saturday night.
Well, that's what you would expect. It's a rivalry game, and it's beyond a lot of different rivalries in that there is just, there's hate here. And because it's an in-state rivalry of that nature, so many of these guys know each other, and they also know what's occurred over the last couple of years. And so I look for Florida to stay focused here and now finish and put a punctuation mark on what they've shown everybody the last couple of weeks. But make no mistake, Florida State, who's coming off of a game where they finally scored more than 21 points, they have a win behind them now, and they're playing with house money on Saturday at their place. So I don't think this is going to be easy by any means. I think it'll still be a lot of fun. And unlike maybe the last 2 years, The Gators just simply go into this game maybe with more confidence and playing for something more than they've had in each of the last 2 meetings with Florida State. So buckle up, as they say, because it is Florida State. And the old cliche, what is it? Throw the records out. And you have to do that again this week.
And again, you'll hear Sean Kelly's call right here on 1010XL, Florida State, Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium. Sean, final question while we have you here. Florida basketball off to a great start. They got a nice game coming up on Thursday against Wake Forest. We'll see what happens after that. But, look, undefeated to this point, top 20 in America. What's been your early thought on the Gator basketball team?
I think they're really good. I think that they have a mentality about them that no matter what's in front of them, they just want to win. Even just in my interviews with them individually, I try to get some other storyline out of them. I try to find out more about them personally, and all they keep coming back to is all we want to do is win. And they play with that kind of a force. After getting a little early push from Southern Illinois this past Friday, they put their fist into them and just obliterated the Salukis here to end the homestand last week. The competition ramps up, Ryan, starting this week. As you mentioned, Wake Forest on Thursday, another Power 4 team on Friday, and then Virginia will be here in Gainesville a week from Wednesday. So this next chunk of the schedule, everything kind of ramps up, and a new test is in front of this team. But they're deep, Ryan, and they play very hard, and they're very physical. They're a very entertaining team to watch as well because they get up and down the floor. They want to use all 94 feet of it, and I'm excited about where this team can go. Knock on wood, it's still early, but early signs point to a lot of fun for Todd Golden's club.
It is a busy time of year. Sean Kelly of the Gator Radio Network. Sean, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Same to you and yours, Ryan. Thank you, and go Gators.
Good drives bring more points. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Great job.
On 1010XL. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Beers.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Find the best-kept secret in Jax at the Moss Fire Grill. From $5 margaritas to made-from-scratch Southwest cuisine. Find yourself relaxing or celebrating at Jacksonville's first-ever rooftop. Visit Moss Fire Grill in Riverside.
See you on the rooftop.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WonderWorld today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at WonderWorldNEFlorida.com.
WonderWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Any action?
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
That's a big redfish, guys.
With Captain Kevin Faber.
Oh, my gosh.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
When were the St. Johns River jetties built? The answer next.
There's always a good reason to compare homeowners' insurance rates. You may be paying too much. Protect your home with a Southern Oak insurance policy today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Congress approved plans to build the jetties in 1879, and construction was from 1880 to 1885.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
If your IT, data security, and your office copiers are operating perfectly, you must have hired ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, as your technology partner.
Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
It can be a challenge if you let it. You know, each day I walk into this building, I choose not to let it get me down. I choose to be energetic around the football team. I choose a message each week that I feel is important that the guys need to hear. And then, of course, that applies to, you know, keys to victory and different things that we do throughout the course and things we talk about as a team as the week progresses.
The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Doug Peterson. He met with the media earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center off the bye week. The Jaguars and the Houston Texans, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio. Doug Peterson was just talking there about the challenge to keep his players focused at 2-9. Yeah, I imagine it is a pretty substantial challenge. They're awful, right? I mean, let's be honest. The team, it's been a nightmare season. Injuries, you know, we forget things that happened right before the bye. Remember, Gabe Davis is out for the year. Christian Kirk is out for the year. Your wide receivers that are left are Brian Thomas Jr., and then you're going to have guys like Parker Washington, Tim Jones, probably Elijah Cooks, Devin Duvernay. I mean, it is what it is, man. We don't know the status of Trevor Lawrence. He did throw a little bit at practice today. They're going to wait to see how it looks throughout the remainder of the week before they make a final decision. Never mind the fact you're going to be playing a Houston team on Sunday that is coming off just a gut-wrenching loss at home to a bad Titans team. So needless to say, Houston's probably going to be pretty fired up to get back out there and try to right that wrong from yesterday. Earlier today as well, this is courtesy of Jaguars.com, Doug Peterson meeting the media. He was asked about handling the negativity that is surrounding his 2-9 football team.
You know, I know there's a lot of negativity around us, and rightfully so. You know, we understand that. Around me, I understand that. But I choose not to listen to it, and I choose to go the other way and be positive, because you only get so many days and so many opportunities in this league, and then your days are done. And when they're done, you know, you look back and you go, hey, you know, I gave it everything, you know, that I had, you know, to these players, to this team, to this league. And that's what I choose. And I choose to go out, you know, every single day and try to make a difference for this team.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I don't dislike Doug Peterson. This is nothing personal against Doug Peterson, the guy. And I don't think he miraculously just forgot how to coach. I mean, the guy does have a Super Bowl ring, and he won a Super Bowl ring with a backup quarterback, right, in Nick Foles. I think maybe Doug's gotten a little stubborn, right? I think Doug, the Press Taylor thing is weird, but that aside, I just think that it's gotten stale and it doesn't work anymore. It hasn't worked here. The offense is stagnant. I got to tell you something, too. You know, normally on Jaguar Sundays, you know, we obviously watch the game, and then immediately after the Jaguar game, I do the Duval rundown on YouTube, and then right after that, I get ready for the fifth quarter. So my Sundays are engrossed by Jaguar football, and that's awesome. I love it. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't trade it for the world. But on a bye week, I do get to watch a lot of other games. In Denmark, I got to tell you, man, watching yesterday, and it wasn't a very good slate of games, truthfully. Turned out to be good. There was a lot of drama towards the end of the 1 o'clock games, certainly. But in watching a lot of those teams that were playing in the early window, their offenses looked like they were on another planet from what Jacksonville's looks like. It looks different. Jacksonville's playbook and the plays that they run are not in the same atmosphere as what I saw Detroit doing yesterday, or even Washington, or Arizona was running some crazy plays with Kyler Murray. And I'm just sitting there thinking, all right, is it stubbornness? Is it stale? Is the playbook from 1997?
Yes, that's it.
I mean, I think it might be it, right?
Offense from the past.
It's just, do you agree that their offense just looks different, man, than other offenses around the league?
Well, one problem is this offense has become very predictable. And when it becomes very predictable to the fans, imagine what it's like for the opposing defenses that spend 10, 12 hours every day watching film and knowing what to do when they're going to run those plays. I think that's more of what it is. And, you know, to be in this league and to be in the NFL, you have to be able to adapt and move on. And you got to forget things from the past and, you know, change what you do. And I'm sure they've changed some things, but it feels like everybody else is doing it except for what we do in here in Jacksonville.
And I don't believe it's an age thing. People will point to, you know, the young guys like, you know, McVay and Ben Johnson, you know, Kingsbury, Matt LaFleur, guys of that sort. O'Connell in Minnesota, right? I don't think it's an age thing. Because look at Andy Reid.
Look at Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh too. But Andy Reid's the oldest coach in the NFL. And Andy Reid's adapted. Look at his offense. Look at what they do. Now, they have the best quarterback on planet Earth. But even so, I mean, you look at the stuff that they run, it is new age, man. It is today's NFL. I don't sense a lot of that here with Jacksonville. It's bizarre. And it was eye-opening yesterday in watching a lot of those other teams. A couple of more from Doug Peterson. I'm going to call an audible here in a second, too, Denmark, and we're going to play cut 3 about the in-house changes. But before we do that, let's get to his message that he told the team as they returned from their bye week.
Yeah, no, and again, I'm going to keep all that messaging within house. I just don't think that's something that needs to be out there. It's just between me and the players. Yeah, but I appreciate the question.
He appreciates the question. That's nice. Speaking of in-house, one of the questions that was asked today was about in-house changes. Remember, Doug Peterson, before the bye week, said everything was on the table. He was going to look at everything and make changes where changes were warranted. Well, all right, you had the bye week, Coach, and this is from our buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 who asked the question, did you make any changes during the bye?
Last week you said as far as changes go, everything was on the table. Did you decide on any changes?
Yes.
Any changes that you'll share?
Nothing that I'll share at this time. And I personally think that, just to be a little bit more clear on that, it's sort of, I say that to say this, that a lot of these are in-house, and these are things that we focus on as a staff and as a team, and I just don't think they need to be in the open right now.
Well, what changes could there possibly be other than play calling, right? I mean, are you going to change what they have for breakfast on Tuesday? I mean, we're not talking about, their dietary needs on Thursday heading into a Sunday game. We want to know who's calling plays. We want to know if you took any roles away from coaches. Said he wants to keep it all in-house. Says it's not for public consumption. All right, well, if you don't say what they are, that leads the mind to wander a little bit. How significant are the changes? Are there any changes at all? Will we notice any changes on Sunday? Or will it look like the nonsense we've watched the last 17 games going back to last year, in which the Jaguars have lost 14 of those 17 contests? You look around the NFL yesterday, in the AFC South in particular, this is what's so frustrating. And I guess it's not even really frustrating anymore. I'm kind of beyond that. It's just kind of acceptance. The AFC South is horrible. It is hot garbage. It is the worst division in football, and it's not even close. The Houston Texans aren't any good. They're not any good. They're 7-5. Quite frankly, you could argue they're somewhat lucky to be 7-5. And they still have essentially a 3-game lead in this division. The Jaguars are terrible. The Titans are terrible. The terrible Titans beat Houston in Houston yesterday. Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson is not good. And there the Texans are that are going to win the division by default.
You think so?
Yes. Who's going to beat them?
Well, the Colts are 2 games back.
No, the Colts are 3 games back because the Texans have the tiebreaker.
And the Texans have a much tougher schedule than the Colts for the last, 6 weeks.
I mean, 6 games to go if you're Indianapolis. Keep in mind the Texans only have 5 games to go because they haven't had their bye week yet. So if Indy wins out, they get to 11. Indy's not winning out. Houston would have to get to 10, probably 9 to feel comfortable because they do have the 2-game head-to-head, so they're basically up 3. Is Indy going to go 5-1 in their last 6?
I mean, they could, but, this is the same division that's seen the Titans collapse and the Jags collapse within the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that could also happen to Houston.
No, but, I like Houston's chances on Sunday here in Jacksonville. I'll go ahead and go out on a limb and tell you that one. Give me Houston on Sunday. I don't have to wait to make my prediction till later in the week. And if that happens and Houston gets to 8, Indy would still be at 5. I don't see it. I think Houston wins by default. But the point being, to me, it doesn't even matter because Houston winning by default, well, what is that going to get Houston? That's going to get them Pittsburgh in round 1? Maybe Baltimore in round 1 in the 4-5, and Houston would get eliminated at that point more than likely. The South is terrible. And it's just very frustrating that Jacksonville, in a terrible year for the division, is having just an awful season in and of itself. By the way, speaking of Baltimore, Monday Night Football going on right now. Chargers up 7-0 on the Ravens early second quarter. Justin Herbert, a rushing touchdown in quarter number 1. Chargers 7, Baltimore 0. Boy, as quiet as Jim Harbaugh can be, and it has been pretty quiet to this point, is he the coach of the year right now?
No, Tomlin.
It's either him or Tomlin. I agree. Tomlin didn't do himself any favors losing to Cleveland last week.
That's just one game.
I agree, but you know what?
Tomlin got
the Steelers in the playoffs last year.
Tomlin, yeah, but
people forget about that. Pittsburgh was a playoff team last year.
Everything in the offseason surrounding Fields and Russell Wilson, and he's not getting enough credit for making the transition from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson in the middle of the year when Justin Fields was winning games.
No, I'm with you.
There's like 95% of the coaches would not have made that move, and from that change, the team has gotten better.
I'm with you. I think everything you said is accurate. Having said that, Pittsburgh was a playoff team last year. The Chargers were not. The Chargers fired their coach because they were awful. And if they win tonight, they're 8-3. Those are the two coaches of the year candidates, Harbaugh and Tomlin. And if Harbaugh wins tonight, if they beat Baltimore on Monday Night Football to get to 8-3, man, I'm not sure if Harbaugh isn't the coach of the year right now. It's certainly not Doug Peterson here in Jacksonville. 2-9. They're back on the field Sunday taking on the first-place Houston Texans. Let's talk to a former head coach in the National Football League. It's Monday night here on Hacker After Dark. That means it's Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He joins us every week. Let's look back on the bye, things that maybe were done. And let's look ahead to the last 6 games, including this Sunday against the Houston Texans. Dave Campo coming up next. Hacker After Dark on a Monday evening in Jacksonville, Florida. And we're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
Relive the best moments from the weekend's games.
That's what superstars do.
Post-game Monday.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
Brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. 110 pounds down. Get to see some family that I haven't seen in person in a few months. I can't wait to see their reaction come Wednesday and Thursday. They've seen videos, right? They've seen pictures. They haven't seen me in person. From 317 to 206. From February 20th to where we are now, 110 plus pounds down, thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken180weightloss.com. It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Melanoma Research Foundation Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
The 5-Star Veteran Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveterancenter.org.
If you're between ages 16 and 24, you can learn a career in construction, electrical, plumbing, or masonry with free training from the AMI Kids Florida Registered Free Apprenticeship Program. Call 576-7337.
Your love can give pets a purpose. To adopt a loving animal from the Jacksonville Humane Society, call 725-8766.
There's a critical need for all blood types. Please consider donating at a local blood donation center.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou
crew here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here from my friends at Beaches Dermatology. We all know summer's now gone, but that doesn't mean the sun goes away. It's Florida, right? That said, you still need to protect yourself from that bright sun. Golfing, fishing, weekends at your kids' game, or just taking care of the yard. Protect yourself and your skin. Beaches Dermatology and I want to remind you to wear your sunscreen. It's important. Holidays are also approaching, so take care of that spouse of yours with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course football. They're very grateful for you all, the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, fill it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Texans, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. 6 games left in the Jaguar season. The Jaguars sit 2-9 coming off yesterday's bye week. Let's preview Houston. Let's look around the league as well with my buddy Dave Campo. It's always Monday night coaching with Campo. The former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys joins us every Monday right here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing, pal?
I'm doing okay. Had a little bit of respite, not having to, look at our own guys, which has been a struggle lately. And got to watch a bunch of college games and a bunch of NFL games, which was kind of fun in a way.
Coach, well, one thing, and we don't normally do this, but since it was a bye week, I got to ask you. Billy Napier 8 weeks ago was toast, right? I mean, he was done. And to see what he's done in the last 8 weeks and with these wins over LSU and Ole Miss, you being a former head coach, you being in the coaching community for decades, I mean, what a resurgence, right? That doesn't normally happen.
Well, he had a bunch of young players over there, and I think that, he's done a good job of recruiting, and obviously it's taken him a little while to get going. But at the same time, you got to give him credit. I texted a bunch of guys and said some people were calling him Nopier. And I said, well, I think he changed his name to Napier in the last 3 ball games. So I think he's doing a good job. I think that, he getting a vote of confidence was probably the right thing to do. And I see Florida. I picked them this week in our little picks with the primetime show. So I think Florida's got a pretty good football team, and I think they'll get better as they go here.
Yeah, big wins over LSU and Ole Miss. All right, let's get into the NFL game, Coach. I got to watch a lot of games yesterday. I know you did as well. One thing that jumps out to me is the offenses that I saw yesterday, particularly Detroit really stood out. Some of the things I saw Washington do really stood out. And I think about the Jaguars offense and the playbook that Doug Peterson and Press Taylor have. And I found myself even more dejected than I was going into yesterday, which is hard to believe at the Jaguars being 2-9. Our playbook here does not look like some of the other playbooks I saw yesterday, Coach. Am I imagining things, or is that your opinion as well?
Well, when I look at us, going back to the first year that Doug came in, I thought he was a little bit more innovative the first year, and it's kind of gone a little bit south here as it goes. And I don't know if they've dumbed it down based on who they have on the roster, or does the problems in certain areas cause you to change your thought process? But I think, it seems like after watching games yesterday, I kind of agree with you on some things. Remember that, this is an offense that's been around for a while. And when you look at Kansas City, which was his mentorship in a way, there's no comparison. And does that mean it's because the quarterback? Does it mean because of guys, on the whole offensive football team not be able to handle certain things? I don't know that. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know the whole thing. But I think you're watching a little bit more intricacies, excuse my French there, on some of the other teams.
The head coach, Dave Campo, here with us. Monday Night Coaching with Campo on Hacker After Dark. All right, Coach. It's game week. Houston's coming up on Sunday. We'll get into that game in a moment. You and I haven't spoke on air in 7 days. Last time you and I talked, there was real question as to whether anything was going to change after 52-6. Nothing changed, right? It's still the same head coach, same GM, same coordinators. I'll give you credit. You kind of called that. I was thinking there was going to be change. There was a lot of people that thought something was going to happen. You pretty much said you didn't expect anything to happen. You were correct. Why do you think nothing happened last week? And why do you think the same guys are in charge now that were in charge for that 52-6 fiasco?
Well, first of all, I don't think our owner here is, and I think owners in general do not like to change much when you talk about firing this guy or firing that guy during the course of the season. I think that if it bears out over time, that's not the best way to go, especially if you want people to be in the stands for the final, push at the end. And the way the league is today, you look at the Titans beating Houston this weekend, anything can happen in the next 6 games, and for us. And, I don't expect them to win all 6, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that they might. And, you want that to happen. Unless you're a draft aficionado, you want that to happen to maybe push into next season. And so I'm from a loyalty standpoint, the one thing Doug Peterson has done is that he gave Shad 2 winning seasons in a row, which hasn't happened much around here. So I think it's just one of those things that they're going to let the season ride out, and then they'll make a decision on what they do.
Realistically, again, Monday Night Coaching with Campo, Dave Campo here with us on Hacker After Dark. Realistically, the last 6-game stretch begins this Sunday. Coach, the players were back in the building today. If you were Doug Peterson, what's your message to the guys 6 games to go coming back at 2-9?
The message is that our football team, when you look at the individual people on the football team, compares with the team that we're playing this week. So let's get ready, and we played them pretty tough in the first one. Let's get it at home, and let's get a little streak going, and it starts with 1. And, I don't know what else he can say. I think that probably over the bye week they studied what they've been doing, and they'll probably have some new wrinkles going into the football game. And I think that's what you have to sell them on. We've studied these guys. We know what they do offensively and defensively. And when you look at Houston's what they've done, they've come back to the pack, in my opinion. I don't think it's a very good division, obviously. But I think that going into this football game, we have a chance to win, and that's the approach that you have to take.
You look around the NFL yesterday, we saw a lot of upsets. As you said, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility Jacksonville could win a couple of games. And to me, I don't know about you, Coach, but to me, it's about seeing the young guys. I want to see Brian Thomas Jr., Jarian Jones, Ventrell Miller, Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby. I want to see a lot of these young guys, the young nucleus, if you will, to really see what Jacksonville's going to have to work with in the coming years.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think, from the way this team has played, no matter when those guys play and how much those guys play will not affect the outcome, because obviously we're 2-9. So you want to get to those young guys in there. And, that's what you're looking at going forward, as long as it's not keeping you, in your opinion, of the ability to win the football game, because I think those guys are still looking at winning games. And I think that's the approach that you have to take from a coaching staff. But those guys that you mentioned have already been parts of this football team, and I expect them to continue to be.
You look around, too. We saw Malik Neighbors yesterday really voice his frustration with the New York Giants about not getting him the football. Brian Thomas Jr. has not done that, to his credit. But look, the last 6 games with no Christian Kirk, right? No Gabe Davis. Let's remember he's out now for the year. You tend to forget about these things during the bye week. It's Brian Thomas Jr. and basically, I mean, what else do you have? You got Parker Washington. You got Devin Duvernay. You're probably going to bring up Elijah Cooks, I would imagine, from the practice squad. Tim Jones. There's just not a lot of options at wide receiver. So you got to force Brian Thomas the ball, right? I know defenses are going to double team him because he's like the only guy left, but you're going to have to get Brian Thomas Jr. involved. You're going to have to figure out a way to get him involved over this last month and a half.
Yeah, and again, it kind of rubs me the wrong way what Neighbors did, in my opinion. I would rather have the Brian Thomas mentality right now with this football team, and I think he does deserve to get the ball more. I thought they started doing that in the last couple ball games. They ran a reverse with him. They threw a couple of quick screens 2 weeks ago, and then they went away. I don't understand that, but you got to get the ball in his hands, however you do it, whether it's and part of it's got to be him. How much is he getting himself open? Is he getting away from some of these double teams? And I think you have to be willing to part of the problem is if the quarterback doesn't feel like he can wait long enough for him to open up on the deep crosses and some of those things, then it's going to be a problem getting the ball to him.
A couple of more for the former head coach, Dave Campo. He's with us every Monday night coaching with Campo on Hacker After Dark. Houston comes in on Sunday, Coach. Boy, a bad loss for the Texans. Again, they're going to win this division by default because the division is awful. But 7-5 now, I think. That cannot be where they thought they were going to be, certainly. They have come back to the pack, as you said. I don't know what that says more about Tennessee's fight or Houston not being as good, but an awfully surprising result yesterday between the Titans and the Texans.
Well, when you look at Stroud, he's still, doing pretty well. He's up there at 63% completion, but what he has done that he did not do last year, in my opinion, is he's turning the ball over. He's got 14 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Well, that's not great. And when you turn the ball over like that, that brings you back to the pack a little bit. And they lost Nico Collins for a while. That hurts them, hurt them a little bit. He's back. So, they're capable of scoring points. I think they're averaging about 23 a game. But then you look at the defense, and they've got some guys rushing the passer. They're getting some sacks, from their two guys, Anderson and
Daniil Hunter.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter. But overall, when you look at the statistics, they're about equal with their offense. In other words, they're giving up points, and they're not just taking over games. So I think the football team is a better than average football team, but not much better than that right now. The key is going to be is getting some pressure on him, on Stroud, because they've given up 40 sacks, so that's over 3 a game, and we have to get pressure on them, or else those receivers against our secondary will work us over a little bit.
Coach, this is kind of a tough question. What do you tell Jaguar fans listening tonight that want the team to win, right? They're Jaguar fans, want the team to have a good showing over these last 6 games, but maybe they're concerned that if they win too many of them, there won't be any change, and they want change going into 2025. That's kind of a tough deal, is it not?
Well, it is in a way, but in all honesty, if I was a fan here, I would rather enjoy a ball game than worry about next year right now. I think if when you look at it, this city will perk up if we beat the Houston Texans this weekend. And I think that's what you have to look at. Now, when it gets down around, maybe 2 or even 3, and they're in the same boat, then you start to say, okay, what's our draft pick? But with 6 games to go, I don't know. I have a hard time as a coach I know I'll be perked up a great deal if we beat the Houston Texans this week.
Of course, you'll get the 5th quarter on 1010XL 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Texans go final. The head coach will be joined by myself and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy to recap the Jaguars and the Texans. Coach, leave us with this. Thanksgiving, obviously your history with the Dallas Cowboys, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. The Thanksgiving games are always a blast. What's one or two of your great Thanksgiving game memories as we embark on another Thanksgiving game coming up here in a couple of days?
Well, of course, there's a couple negative memories on there, but the vast majority of them were wins. And, I can't pick out one in particular. I can pick out one that was a negative, was when Leon Letts slipped into a missed field goal in the snow against the Miami Dolphins.
That Doug Peterson was the holder for, by the way. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I did not know that, to be honest with you. You just told me that.
Yeah, Doug Peterson held that ball that Stoyanovich got blocked, and then Leon Lett in the snow game, Doug Peterson was on the field there on that play.
Well, all I know is that I thought that one was going to keep us from home field advantage, but we then won out from there to get home field advantage, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl. But that one was a rough one because, in all honesty, the game was over. We had it won, and we gave it to the other team.
Well, Thanksgiving games are a lot of fun. Look, I mean, the bottom line is it's not going to be a great game between Dallas and the Giants. You're going to have Cooper Rush and Tommy DeVito, but it's Thanksgiving, man. There's just something about Thanksgiving football, is there not?
Absolutely, and that goes from the high schools on up. I love holiday games, and that's, going to be a fun day. Plus, you get a little bit of turkey.
The head coach, Dave Campo, always kind enough to join us Monday night coaching with Campo right here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Have a terrific week, and I'll see you on Sunday evening for the 5th quarter.
You bet, Hack, and same to you guys, and hug that forest for me.
The game where every yard counts. One player's performance stands out.
That's what you want from a leader.
Universal Roofing Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game.
Touchdown, what a throw.
On 1010XL.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. Beaver's annual Black Friday silent sale. Every car on the lot will be discounted so low, we can't even show the prices on TV. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. First come, first served. And once they're gone, it's over. Plus, anyone who buys between 6 and 9 a.m. will get a big screen TV and $1,000 cash. Want more? We're giving away free oil changes between 6 and 9 a.m. The Black Friday silent sale only at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. You don't want to miss this.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Spend lunchtime with the ladies.
A meal and sparkling conversation.
Helmets and heels.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
Just behave, okay?
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans on 1010XL.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival returns to the Daytona International Speedway in 2025 with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus, Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville takes over the Daytona International Speedway May 15th to the 18th, 2025. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. 4-day, single-day camping and VIP passes on sale now at welcometoRockville.com.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Denny Thompson here. They're still growing. Tyson Sound and Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call to apply 762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security hiring a master electrician offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Monday Night Football, 2-minute warning in L.A. Chargers up 10-7. Boy, interesting game. Baltimore only down 10-7. They have the ball. They have 18 yards passing with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Derrick Henry does have 9 carries for 66 yards. Lamar Jackson, a touchdown run for the Chargers. Justin Herbert, a touchdown run. But the Chargers lead 10-7 at the 2-minute warning. Baltimore does have the ball, and we'll certainly see what happens. 2 of the best in the AFC, right? Ravens come in at 7-4. Chargers come in at 7-3. The Jaguars back on the field on Sunday, taking on the Houston Texans, a Houston team that had a bad loss yesterday. There's no way to slice it. When you're at home against a 2-win Tennessee Titan team and the Titans come in and beat you on your home field, that is a bad loss. So Houston will probably have some ill will and some bad intentions coming in here to Jacksonville on Sunday. But what about the young guys, right? What about Ventrell Miller? What about Jarian Jones? What about Jordan Jefferson? Maybe Mason Smith, Tank Bigsby, Brenton Strange. To me, that's what a lot of these final 6 games is going to be about. Seeing the young guys play. Brian Thomas Jr., keep in mind, Christian Kirk out for the year. Remember, Gabe Davis is now also out for the year. So Brian Thomas Jr., you want to talk about a number 1 at wide receiver? Well, yeah. I mean, your other wide receivers are Parker Washington, Tim Jones, Devin Duvernay. So we're going to see a lot of these young guys and how they perform. With that as a backdrop, Justin Mello of the Draft Network. I want to talk about some of the young guys. I want to talk about the AFC South. Justin is actually based up in Nashville. So we'll talk young Jaguars. What are the expectations for the next 6 games? We'll look ahead a little bit to the draft, a little Travis Hunter talk as well, and we'll do that with Justin Mello of the Draft Network. He comes up next on a Monday night in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Even the best teams can lose steam when their best players end up on the sidelines.
In case you haven't noticed, our receiver corps is decimated.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah & Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville. It's part of the game, though, you know?
On 1010XL.
Hacker here. A couple weeks back, I received an invite. Not just any invite. It was to be the guest speaker at Awaken 180's virtual town hall. Every team member was there. The owner, Paige, my coach, Kate, and what seemed like 100 people from Awaken 180. My surprise? They invited me to stay for the full town hall. They talked client successes, company goals, future plans, you name it. There was nothing to hide. They all had one common goal of how they can help people better. It was amazing to hear, and it was amazing to see how happy and team-oriented everyone was. I mean, I already knew my coach had that mindset, but I thought I had the best one. Nope, they're all the best ones. That's the beauty of being company-led, not a franchise who often only looks at the bottom line. I suppose that's why Awaken 180 is now celebrating 10 years and has helped over 23,000 clients like me, Mike Dempsey, and Matt Hayes. See it firsthand while you're losing weight with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 20th. 23rd.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Start your week by talking teal with Tony. Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli. Monday mornings at 7:20 with Dan and Jeff on the drill. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Hall of Fame Quality Roofing Solutions on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2025 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car, and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com or purchase your Hills Pass today.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Rage. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
If you want high quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
1 second left. Hackers are ready to score. Will your business defense hold? Double-check cybersecurity stops threats 24/7. Don't wait. Visit doublecheck.com today to schedule your free security consultation. Act now and stay protected.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-9 on the year. They get ready for their last 6 games of the season, which begins against the Houston Texans. The Jaguars right now, if the draft were today, would have the number 1 pick. It has been, well, quite frankly, a disaster here in Jacksonville, and there is Needless to say, a lot of uncertainty about the futures of head coach Doug Peterson and general manager Trent Baalke. Let's go to one of my guys, Justin Mello of the Draft Network. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. And Justin, for people that didn't hear our last conversation, you were the author of a brand new book about the AFC South, man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Titans of the South, Photographs and History of the Tennessee Titans is available now where all books are sold. Covers the entire history of the Titans franchise and really the AFC South. Beginning with the Houston Oilers in 1960, the eventual formation of the AFC South many, many, many years later. Covers that and everything in between from 1960 to 2023. Titans of the South, it's available now. It took 2 years of my life. Really, really proud of how it came out. It's been great to see it on bookshelves around the nation.
Well, congratulations on that, no question. You know, the last time you and I spoke on air, the Jaguars were bad, but there was an idea that maybe they could potentially turn a corner. Maybe they could get things going, and that idea has been absolutely obliterated in the last month and a half. Justin, they're the worst team in football. They would have the number 1 pick in the draft if it were held today. I know you have a recent story on the Draft Network about potential head coaching candidates to replace Doug Peterson. I want to talk about that, but just your thoughts first and foremost on what on earth happened, in your opinion, here in Jacksonville this year.
Well, it's really tough to comprehend, isn't it, how this team could have gone from being shocked, AFC South winners 2 years ago to this. I mean, I think yourself and every really fan saw that as the beginning of what was about to be a successful tenor, right? We've got our young franchise quarterback. We won the division. We're going to get better and better. In fact, much like the vision for the Houston Texans from last year to this year, right? Whereas they've mostly fulfilled that prophecy, it's gone the other way for this Jacksonville team. And I said it the following year, last season, right after winning the AFC South, going into last season, I had said I didn't think they had a very good offseason. I think when you overachieve, there can sometimes be a sense of complacency. Now, the salary cap played a large role in their ability to, what they could and couldn't do last offseason and the one prior to that when things first started falling apart. But I just don't think they've done a good enough job. That they felt they had their quarterback. Well, that's supposed to be the hardest part. Now comes the easy part, surrounding him with talent. I think they've taken, mostly steps backward in that department. They don't have many long-term answers on the offensive line. I think some of the moves at receiver, a couple have worked out, a couple haven't. I just don't think they've been good enough, quite frankly, in the talent acquisition department.
Justin, needless to say, 52-6, that was ridiculous the last time the Jaguars played. They've had quite some time to think about it. And I got to be honest with you, man, here locally, we thought somebody had to lose their job, right? Either one of the coordinators, Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke, all of the above. The fact that it has remained status quo and it appears that they're just going to ride this thing out for the next 6 games is pretty surprising to us. From your perspective, a guy who covers the AFC South for the Draft Network, you're based up in Nashville. Are you as surprised as we are that nothing happened after 52-6?
Yeah, I am a little surprised. I mean, number one, what exactly are we waiting for, right? Like, poor Doug Peterson, I would say knows he's a dead man walking, right? Like, he knows he's not keeping that job going into next year. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of these 6 games. The expectation is they are going to relieve him of his duties. Why not do it now and get a head start on your coaching search, right? Like, no, you can't interview guys now, but what you can do, and why some other teams have already fired their coach, is you start to put a committee together, you start to get a short list together of candidates you're going to be interested in, and you can start the process in terms of background checks and things of that nature. And you can't necessarily do that while Doug is still employed. So to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And you had good timing with the bye week, right? You could have given the interim coach essentially 2 weeks, to kind of prepare for his first game in that role. So I'm a little surprised they didn't pull the trigger, so to speak, on firing Doug here at the end of the 52-6 game.
Justin, I want to get your thoughts. Again, Justin Mello of the Draft Network. I want to get your thoughts and talk about the story that you wrote there on the Draft Network about potential head coaching replacements for Doug Peterson. But I'm curious, a guy that covers the draft like you do, you're obviously very familiar with Trent Baalke. You're very familiar with Doug Peterson. Who is most to blame for where the Jaguars are right now, or do you believe it's equal measures of both?
I mean, they certainly both share some blame, but me personally, I kind of lean towards the general manager, right, and Trent Baalke. I don't think the recent draft classes have quite been good enough. I don't think the decisions in free agency have quite been good enough. Look, there are some hits. Brian Thomas Jr. looks like a home run, but there are some misses too. You know, guys like Luke Fortner and Chad Muma, for example, they were drafted in ranges of where you'd like to land a bona fide starter, right? In those, like, you know, early middle rounds, if you will, and they just haven't done that. Then, of course, you're never going to be on board with the Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson decision. I mean, Trayvon Walker is a fine football player. I think we've seen him play quite well in spurts. But Aiden Hutchinson, as you know, is a defensive player of the year. He would have won the award if he stayed healthy this year, right? We're talking about a good football player versus an elite football player. So there have been a lot of mistakes along the way made by Trent Baalke. And matter of the fact is, you know, his history coming in wasn't very good, right? Like he kind of tore down that San Francisco team, kind of his direction going from Super Bowl contenders to, you know, bottom of the barrel quite quickly. I don't think he's been a good enough general manager for them. I was very hesitant when they appointed him to begin with. I was surprised he was getting another opportunity after how that 49ers thing ended. And quite frankly, he doesn't have a great reputation around the league in terms of being very likable and being someone that's easy and fun to work with. So I was surprised when Jacksonville gave him a shot. And for my money, I would think the right move would be that he's at the end of his tenure here.
Justin Mello of the Draft Network. Justin, you wrote a story recently on the Draft Network, kind of getting ahead of it, giving potential head coaching replacements for Doug Peterson. I mean, look, the bottom line is the thought down here is it's when, not if. And before we get to your story, one final thought. They've kept Doug and they've kept Trent, at least for the time being. And there, I guess concern is the right word. There's some thought here that the schedule eases up for Jacksonville, includes Tennessee twice, the Jets, the Raiders among the last 6. Justin, I don't think it's going to happen because I think Jacksonville's terrible this year. But if they do win, you know, 4 of their last 6 and 2-9 becomes, I don't know, 6-11, boy, I would hope Shad Khan doesn't make this decision. But do you see a scenario where Baalke or Peterson could save themselves in these final 6 games?
I think the general manager probably has a better chance than Doug does. First of all, I mean, we're still waiting word on Trevor's status. If he's not playing or he misses another couple of games, I don't think they stand a chance in any football game this year that Trevor's not playing in. So I don't think there's much hope that they're about to go on a streak here. And not to mention team morale, like 52-6, I mean, you got to question the fight left in the dog, right? Like you feel like there's a little bit of quit probably in that locker room right now. Guys are probably booking their vacations, right, as we speak. So that matters a lot when you get towards the stretch here of a season. So, no, I don't think they're going to do very well. And even if they did, I think Khan, Mr. Khan is smarter than to put a lot of stock into it. Again, I see a scenario where maybe the general manager has an opportunity to save himself, but they will have a new head coach in 2025.
Yeah, I think everybody here is so over it, so done with it. Shad has fired a head coach and kept a GM time and time again. Just a clean sweep, man. Get rid of everybody and start fresh. And now let's get to your story on the Draft Network. You gave 3 or 4 potential candidates to replace Doug Peterson. Justin, we got an up-close look the last time out at Ben Johnson. That was pretty impressive. The Lions offensive coordinator, that's certainly the most popular name in these parts. What would be your thought on Ben Johnson and Jacksonville? Do you think the Jaguar job would be appealing to him?
Well, it would be a home run hire. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be the number 1 candidate on everyone's radar, just like he has been for the last 2 or 3 years already, right? Like this guy, he's been incredibly choosy. Now, the reason I listed him in that story was I think there's no doubt that Mr. Khan is going to swing for the fences. He's that type of guy, right? Like I think when he brought in Urban, as much as that backfired, we knew what the intention was. And even Doug Peterson, to a degree, Super Bowl winning head coach, right? Like, this is not a guy that's going to settle for the boring status quo. He's not that type of owner. So, and I certainly don't see money being an issue. I think he would open the checkbook to Ben Johnson and meet whatever financial demands he may have. The question is on the opposite end, right? Will Ben Johnson feel the same way? He's turned down a couple opportunities already. And does he see Jacksonville as the right organization for him? does he see Mr. Khan as the right owner for him? Because ownership's going to play a big role in his final decision. And as choosy as he's been, I'm a little hesitant to say, he's definitely going to have Jacksonville at the top of his list. For example, if the Cincinnati Bengals job becomes available, I don't love ownership down there, but I think maybe an opportunity to work with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase with what he's done with the Lions offense, that might sit at the top of his wish list. Ultimately, I think how he views Jacksonville will come down to two things: what he thinks of Mr. Khan as an owner, and how he feels about Trevor Lawrence as being the franchise quarterback, because whoever they hire is going to have to be on board with Trevor, right? Based on that extension that they gave him, it's not going to be easy to move on from it. So that's what I think it comes down to for Ben Johnson. But I have no doubt in my mind that he could very well be atop Jacksonville's wish list.
If not Ben Johnson, if for some reason that doesn't work out, there are a lot of people that are looking just to the south of us in Tampa with Liam Cohen, the Buccaneers offensive coordinator. If they want to go the defensive route, a couple of up-and-coming defensive coordinators, Jesse Minter, Aaron Glenn, and then obviously the elephant in the room is the Bill Belichick speculation. What's your thought if for whatever reason Ben Johnson says thanks but no thanks, where the Jaguars might turn at that point?
Well, the Bill Belichick conversation is an interesting one, is it not? Like, I believe it was Mike Florio of NBC and Pro Football Talk that brought that up on national television. And that's why I kind of reserve judgment or reserve answer on the whole Trent Baalke thing, because Belichick knows him, right? Like, they were together with the New York Jets once upon a time. That was Baalke's first professional gig, I believe. He was a scout for the Jets during the 98-99 season. So do I see a scenario out there where Bill Belichick becomes the head coach and Baalke stays on as GM? Yes. But he would almost be GM in name, wouldn't he? Like, as we know, Bill Belichick, he's not going anywhere where he doesn't have damn near full roster control, right? So Baalke would be GM in name to a degree because they've got the existing relationship and know each other. I won't say that rumor doesn't have legs because, again, I see Mr. Khan as an owner that's going to swing for the fences. I don't see him settling for as much as I think Aaron Glenn is a terrific candidate, I just don't see Mr. Khan going that route. I just don't, right? Based on his history and based on, the braggadociousness, if you will, that he carries himself with. I think this is going to be a big name hire. Maybe it's Dan Lanning out of Oregon, you know what I mean, who's getting some buzz in NFL circles as well. He's going to make a splash hire, and certainly Bill Belichick, I think, is going to be a head coach in the National Football League next season, and absolutely I could see Jacksonville making an aggressive play for his services.
Justin, as we wrap up, it's interesting. The Jaguars have 6 games to go, 2 of which are against the Tennessee Titans. You're based up in Nashville. You got the new book about the Titans and their history. Boy, I'll tell you, man, those Jaguar-Titan games usually have merit for playoff positioning, at least in recent years. Not this year. I mean, those 2 games could literally decide who has the number 1 pick in the draft.
Literally. The Jacksonville's currently slated at number 1, and Tennessee's number 2, I believe, last I checked. So, yeah, those 2 games are definitely going to determine who has the top pick in the draft and potentially who slides, not only from 1 or 2, but all the way down to maybe 5, 6, or 7. We've got a bunch of 2 and 8 teams in the league right now. So one win is going to drop you all the way down that order to 6, 7, or 8 overall. It's going to have a drastic outcome, if you will, on the final draft positioning. And I will say, look, the Titans are in similar territory, or the fan base is at least. They rather lose. They rather get the highest pick they can get. But unfortunately for them, if that's what they're hoping for, I think the Titans are playing harder than Jacksonville is right now. I don't think they've quite quit on their head coach. They've got a first-year head coach as opposed to kind of a dead man walking in Doug Peterson. So they're still playing hard for Coach Brian Callahan. And Will Levis is quite literally playing for his career with the Titans, right? They're still assessing whether or not he's their starting quarterback moving forward. So the Titans are playing hard. I mean, they barely lost to the Vikings a week ago. They played a good game. They got the kind of the raw end of the sticks from the referees in that game. They beat the Patriots the week before. They're still playing hard football. So for now, I would say the Titans probably have the upper hand going into those games with Jacksonville.
Justin Mello does a terrific job covering the NFL Draft for the Draft Network. He's based in Nashville. And Justin, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville again about the brand new book. It's about the Tennessee Titans, but as you said, there's an awful lot of information and history about the AFC Central and the AFC South in there as well.
Oh, a ton. I mean, we cover the entire formation of the AFC South, the birth and the death of the AFC Central. Again, and Houston, with the AFC South covering the move away from Houston, and then how the Texans and Houston became a thing and they got their team back. So a lot of great history in there covering the entire division. A lot of history on Jacksonville as well. So Titans of the South is available now where all books are sold. Photographs and history of the Tennessee Titans, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, you name it. It makes a great holiday gift for the AFC South fan in your life.
Justin Mello. Justin, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. Have a terrific Thanksgiving. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
The pleasure was all mine. You know where to find me.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
And thank you to Justin Mello of the Draft Network for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark as we took a look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. 6 games to go in the regular season. That kicks off this week against Houston. And to me, it's about seeing a lot of the young guys. Now, we still don't know the status of quarterback Trevor Lawrence. I know he did practice today. Doug Peterson said they'd wait and see and have more information as the week goes on. But I want to look at Brian Thomas Jr. and Ventrell Miller and Jarian Jones and Jordan Jefferson. And maybe we'll see Mason Smith, right? 2nd-round pick. That'd be kind of nice. Tank Bigsby, Brenton Strange. That, to me, is what these next 6 games are about, to kind of see what you have moving forward in to 2025. Of course, there's going to be a very angry Houston Texan team coming in here on Sunday. A Texan team that was, quite frankly, just not very good yesterday in their loss at home to the Tennessee Titans. So we'll see. We'll do more on the Jaguars and the Texans as the week goes on. But again, the Jaguars are 2-9, 3 home games left, 3 road games left, and that does kick off this Sunday against the Houston Texans. So we certainly spent a lot of time on the Jaguars, but we spent a bunch of time as well on the Florida Gators. And what a 7-day period it has been for Florida. Last week against LSU, this week against Ole Miss. That has really benefited them on the recruiting trail, as well as Florida with a lot of confidence going into this Saturday night against Florida State, Doak Campbell Stadium. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio. It's Florida State's Super Bowl, right? It's the last time you'll see the Noles till August. They're not going to a bowl game. They would love nothing more than to upset Florida, whereas Florida is looking to keep this momentum going as they enter their bowl season. Well, that'll just about do it. It has been a very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Justin Mello of the Draft Network, talking Jaguars, talking AFC South. Always appreciate Justin's time with us here on 1010XL. Thank you to Sean Kelly, the radio play-by-play voice of the Florida Gators on the Gator Radio Network. You'll hear Sean's call Saturday night of Florida and Florida State. Really appreciate Sean taking time out. What's a busy week for him with both basketball and football, taking time out for us to talk about Florida's 2 big wins over LSU and Ole Miss, talk about Billy Napier as well. So again, thank you to Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators. And back in hour number 1, my friend Dave Campo, always Monday night coaching with Campo, and we appreciate the head coach for joining us here on Hacker After Dark to look at the Jaguars and preview Houston and take a big picture look at the last 6 games of the 2024 season. Now, we will be back tomorrow night on a Tuesday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Monday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.